The sound of gravel crunching under worn-out boots broke the silence of the countryside road. Emma, a quiet farm girl with dirt-stained jeans and a braid swinging against her back, was walking home from school with her backpack clutched tightly to her chest. She had learned to keep her head down, to avoid confrontation, but trouble always seemed to find her. The rumble of truck tires grew louder behind her, followed by cruel laughter. 3 older boys from town pulled up, leaning out of their dented pickup with mocking grins. "Hey farm girl, where's your cow?" one shouted. Another tossed an empty soda can that bounced off the road near her feet. Emma kept walking, jaw tight, refusing to look at them. But they didn't stop. The truck swerved dangerously close, spraying dirt onto her clothes. "Bet your family can't even afford new shoes. Maybe you should trade us a pig for lunch money," they sneered. When Emma finally reached her family's driveway, she broke into a run. But the truck followed, pulling up just outside the gate of their weathered farmhouse. Her little brother Daniel peeked out from behind the porch, eyes wide. Their mother, weary from working double shifts, stepped outside and told the boys to leave. They laughed in her face. "This dump should be condemned. Your girl doesn't belong at our school," one spat before they revved the engine and sped off, leaving dust in the air and fear in their hearts. Emma's mother pulled her close. "Ignore them, honey," she whispered. But Emma's heart ached. She could handle the teasing, but watching her family humiliated cut deeper than any insult. What the boys didn't know, though, was that her father had just returned home. Inside the barn, a man stood quietly, his broad frame casting a shadow across the bales of hay. He had been away for months, serving his country in places no one dared to speak about. Sergeant Jack Reynolds wasn't just a farmer. He was a former Delta Force operator, a man forged in battlefields, trained to protect, and wired to respond when his family was threatened. Jack listened as Emma, trembling, recounted what had happened. His face remained calm, but his eyes, steel gray and unblinking, burned with a fire that no enemy had ever survived. He knelt down to his daughter's level, gently cupping her chin. "Emma, you don't ever let anyone make you feel small. You hear me? We don't run from bullies. We face them." That night, word traveled quickly through the small town. Those same boys were bragging at the local gas station about how they had shown that farm family their place. What they didn't realize was that Jack had walked in behind them, quiet as a shadow. When he finally spoke, the laughter died instantly. "You think it's brave to harass a little girl? You think it makes you strong to threaten a woman on her porch?" His voice was calm, but every syllable carried the weight of authority. The boys tried to laugh it off, but Jack stepped closer, towering over them, his presence alone enough to silence the room. One boy stammered, "We were just joking," but Jack leaned in, his voice dropping to a razor's edge. "Jokes end when they hurt people. What you did wasn't harmless, it was cowardice. And I don't tolerate cowards." The owner of the gas station, an old veteran himself, nodded quietly from behind the counter. "Listen to him, boys. He's the real deal." The boys' bravado crumbled. They muttered apologies, but Jack wasn't finished. He made them follow him back to the farm, where Emma and her mother stood waiting. There, in front of the people they had humiliated, Jack made the boys look Emma in the eyes and apologize, not the empty kind, but the kind that comes with shame, realization, and accountability. They shifted uncomfortably, but they did it. Jack didn't raise a hand, didn't shout, but his presence and his words hit harder than any blow ever could. Emma's mother wiped away tears as Jack put an arm around his daughter. "Strength isn't in fists or cruelty," he told the boys, his voice steady. "It's in protecting those who can't fight back. If you ever want to be men, you'll remember that." From that day forward, no one dared harass Emma or her family again. The story spread through the town, about the quiet farm girl's father who returned not just as a farmer, but as a warrior who taught bullies a lesson they'd never forget. For Emma, something even greater changed. She began to walk taller, not because her father had fought her battles for her, but because he had shown her that she wasn't weak, she was worth defending, worth respecting. And the boys? They carried that lesson with them. Some even came back years later, grown and changed, to thank Jack for that moment. Because sometimes, it takes a man who has faced war to remind others what true strength really looks like. In the end, the message was simple but powerful: bullies may roar for a moment, but courage and integrity echo for a lifetime.